In this video, there will be a detailed tutorial for beginners on how a tool like TradingView works. For those who don't know, it's a special website for analyzing trading charts. This video will be an introductory overview of how the interface works for complete beginners who have never opened the website before. So to begin, I recommend clicking the link in the description to go to TradingView. By registering through my link, as you can see, you can receive $15 as soon as you purchase your first subscription. This banner appears right when you visit the site. Click Join to unlock $15 rewards. Then you can log in through Google or register using your email. Whatever is more convenient. The process is standard like on any website. After registration, we'll land on the main page of TradingView. Many people underestimate this application. They think it's only for analyzing charts. In reality, it's far from that. There are many other tools here as well, which I'll show you now. Some of them may even turn out to be very useful. Let's get familiar with the top part of the site. Here we see various tabs. First, open the Products tab. As you can see, we have the Supercharts here. We'll return to them later. Below we have screeners, calendars, news flow, portfolios, yield curves, options, and fundamental graphs. Let's start with the simplest thing you need to know as beginners. Screeners are very convenient. You can expand them regardless of which sector you trade in. Let's choose, for example, crypto coins. Here you will see a convenient full list similar to CoinMarketCap. Essentially, a table showing how prices changed during the day, the current market cap, trading volume, and so on. In general, all the detailed information. You can click on any asset and go directly to it, but we will look at that later. Likewise, if you go to Products, Screeners, below there is a very useful section called Heat Maps. For example, we can also open stocks. Here we can set the maps and watch in real time how assets prices change. These can be stocks, cryptocurrencies, and so on. You can choose an index here. Let's leave S&P 500. You can choose the time period, for example, the last hour. You can also select changes in the market cap or volume, or filter by specific sectors, which is also very convenient. Additionally, within these maps, each sector can be expanded separately. For example, electronic technology. I click on it, and in real time, I can see how the prices of Nvidia, Apple, and other major companies change. After that, in the product section under screeners, there are calendars. This is the calendar of upcoming events that may potentially influence the price of a certain asset. Very interesting, especially for those who like trading based on news. Below that, there is news flow. Here you can view news from the world of cryptocurrency, stocks, and so on. What's also very interesting is that all the news related to a specific asset is displayed directly below the chart of the asset you open. So you can trade an asset and view its news not only from this section but also right on the assets chart to see what news came out and what potential impact it might have. Under news flow, in the product section, we have portfolios. Here you can upload your crypto portfolio and track it. I'm not sure who really needs this. Personally, for this purpose, I prefer using CoinMarketCap. It's much more convenient. In general, that's all you need to know about this tab. Of course, the main feature is Supercharts, but we will return to them a bit later. The next tab is Community. This one is extremely interesting. I suggest immediately paying attention to the Trading Ideas tab. Here you can choose and filter what you want to see, which markets, which assets, sorted by popularity or number of followers. In real time, different people, similar to Twitter, publish their thoughts. Only each thought is an idea about where a particular asset may go. You can open each idea, go to it, and see why the author drew it that way and what they meant. If you scroll down, you can read comments from other people, whether they agree or disagree. I think this is very interesting and irreplaceable analysis tool based on the opinions of other people. This helps from a broader understanding of where a chart might go. Very interesting. I recommend checking this section from time to time. Under trading ideas, we have indicators and strategies. Same concept as trading ideas, but here people publish not just their trading ideas, but their actual trading strategies and indicators which you can apply to a chart and see how they affect the price of an asset, whether they help you or not. I also recommend scrolling through these. Many people like trading with charts and indicators. This section may actually be useful for you. Next, we have the markets section. Here you can watch all assets around the world and how they change. You can see the market openings of each country: Canadian, UK, Germany, India, Japan. Very convenient because we know that each market opening in each country has some price impact on all markets, especially on crypto markets. So from here, it's very convenient to observe and see how the markets of different countries open it, positive, negative, or how long until they open. Brokers, I think that one is self-explanatory. Overall, that's everything you need to know about all these steps. Now let's go to products and supercharts. So we've landed on the very charts you've seen in all the videos. If you don't know what these candles on the chart are, don't understand why some of them red and some are green, why one is long and another is short, why one is thick and another is thin, I explained all of these in my separate video, Trading for Beginners, where I broke down every detail and explained what each candle represents. The link to that video is in the description under this one. Watch Trading for Beginners first and then return here to understand how everything works. Now, let's look at the interface. I completely understand that at first glance it may look intimidating, but everything is extremely simple. I guarantee that you'll spend just a couple of hours to understand it all. There is nothing difficult. You just need to come in from time to time, press different buttons to understand how everything works. As you can see, we immediately landed on the chart for Apple, that is Apple stock, how to choose other assets. At the top left, next to your profile icon, there is a symbol search bar. You can click here and type, for example, Bitcoin, and it will open Bitcoin, pair it with the dollar. Now let's go through more of the interface so you understand how everything works. Look, if we take the upper part of the screen, these sections are responsible for how the system displays the chart. Here we can choose the asset we want to see and the system will display it. We can also choose the time period for which we want the system to show the asset. For example, let's choose the hourly chart instead of the daily one. Farther to the right of the time period, we can configure what type of candles we want. For example, now we see classic Japanese candles, but maybe someone prefers trading bars. We can change them and you'll see the chart change. Or you can switch to a classic line. You can also switch from line to area. But I recommend keeping candles because that's what most people use. To the right of that, we have indicators. These are indicators we can add to the chart that will help us analyze the asset. I won't go deep into this here because I have a separate playlist on how indicators work and which ones are the best to use. The link to that playlist is in the description under this video. Let me just show you quickly. You can open this section and type, for example, let's add the RSI indicator, relative strength index. As you can see, it appears below. Above it, we already have the volume indicator added. It's displayed right under the Bitcoin chart. You can configure it here, but we will return to that later. Let's remove the RSI for now. The mechanics are simple. In the indicator search bar, you type the one you want to find, add it, and it appears on your screen. Here you can also add alerts, meaning you can set the website to send you notifications. For example, if Bitcoin breaks above $100,000, You can choose whether it alerts you every time until a certain date, or if Bitcoin drops below, rises above, crosses up and down, rises and falls, etc. There are many detailed settings. It's very convenient if you don't want to keep the chart open 24 hours per day. This function is also very useful. Now let's scroll slightly lower. I mentioned a couple of minutes ago that there is a volume indicator here. It's displayed below the chart. It's located right under Bitcoin. If you simply hover your mouse over it, you will see that you can disable it, enable it, customize it, or delete it. If you start customizing it, you'll see the settings. Every indicator has its own personal settings. For example, the volume, we can adjust the moving average length. Let's set it to 50. We can also change its style, meaning the color, and even add a moving average directly onto the volume indicator, and so on. So every indicator can be adjusted in its own way to help you visually, rather than distract your eyes when working with charts. If you still don't know where to trade, I recommend doing it on the Bybit exchange. Registering with my link, which you can find in the description under this video, you can receive up to 30,000 USDT in bonuses for completing tasks. Since I'm a certified partner of Bybit, you will see this as soon as you go to the website. You will also see all the rewards you can potentially receive. Additionally, you get VIP support. The link is in the description. In case you encounter any issues, under that link there is a detailed video guide on how to register, verify your account, make your first deposit, and place your first trade on the Bybit exchange. Now let's talk about the left side of the TradingView. If we say the top menu is for how the system displays the chart, then the left menu is for the how we interact with the chart, adding our own elements. Here you can see the tools for adding various elements directly onto the chart, such as lines, different Fibonacci tools, pattern identifications, position projections. You can simply draw with a brush and arrows, add text. How does it work? Very simple. Choose the category you want, choose the element, for example trend line, and draw it on the chart using the mouse. Above each element you will see the customization options: color, line thickness, whether it should be solid, dotted, or dashed. You can also add text and change its color. This way you can label any element. There are also various blocks you can add, fully customize all their settings: line, thickness, whether they are filled or not, fill opacity. Very interesting. Also, some elements can be duplicated. You can click on the element, press copy and paste, and move the duplicate, which I find very convenient. There's also the brush tool. You have probably seen many traders use it in their analysis. Overall, your creativity here is unlimited. You can express yourself like a real artist while working with charts. How exactly to work with charts? We have a separate video about this. Again, you can find the link in the description under this video. The right side is the actual selection of the asset you are currently working with. As you can see, initially right after registration, I already have US oil, gold, silver, Euro USD, Great Britain Pounds USD in my favorites. Here I can add or remove different elements, edit existing ones. Basically, these are so-called favorite bookmarks. For example, let's say I want to add Ethereum, Bitcoin here. I click the plus button, and now down here at the very bottom I have an additional pair, Ethereum to Bitcoin. Here in the right panel you can also see the price has changed over the last 24 hours, how it changed in percentage terms. Below you have the asset itself, its current price, its opening price, and this is what I mentioned earlier, the same news. They appear here as a feed, right here, and also directly on the chart. If you hover over them, you'll see what the news is. You can open it right here, and below you have all the open information, the same as on various websites. How the asset's price changed over a week, a month, 3 months, 6 months, seasonally compared to other years, and the technical rating. For example, for Ethereum Bitcoin, we see it's neutral. And perhaps the most useful feature, if you have identified something on the chart and want to share it with your friends, you can simply click the camera icon in the top right and either download the image, copy the image, or copy a link. Means you now have a link, copy it, and if your friend opens it, they will see an instant screenshot from you directly in their browser, which is also very convenient for sharing trading ideas. I believe this is everything a beginner needs to know about how TradingView works. Don't forget that in the description under this video there is a playlist about indicators, how they work, and how to analyze charts using this platform. These videos are already uploaded on my channel, link in the description. Bye.